everyone, so this video is a little bit overdue, a couple weeks overdue now. So a couple weeks ago was Diversathon and I did participate and I was like involved in a few of the like Twitter things and everything, but my computer decided to stop working that Saturday before the last day of Diversathon was, so I wasn't able to upload my wrap-ups. I read two books during Diversathon, and this video is going to be a review for one of those, and that is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. So this was one of the books that I read. This was a book on poetry. It's a book of poetry. And I read one of the books, so my review for this one is going to be, I don't know if you can see that, is going to be either this week or next week sometime. For Milk and Honey, I really love this book. I don't really read a lot of poetry. I have a couple poetry books, this being one of them. I don't read a lot of poetry. I don't dislike poetry, but I like fiction a lot more than poetry. But I do really love reading the occasional poetry, especially when it's by younger poets and just poetry that I can understand easier and better. So in the back of this book it says, "This is the journey of surviving through poetry. This is the blood, sweat, and tears of 21 years. This is my heart in your hands. This is the hurting, the loving, the breaking, the healing. Rupi Kaur." So this book of poetry is broken into 4 different parts. And so each of these 4 parts has to do with the hurting, the loving, the breaking, or the healing. And so I read this in one sitting. It was really fast. So with this book, I wasn't able to relate to every single thing that she discussed because she wrote poetry on certain things that I have not yet experienced in my lifetime, or hopefully will never experience in my lifetime. So while I did think that every single poem in here was really impactful and really beautifully written and really powerful, I wasn't able to personally relate to all of them. So within it, I have a bunch of post-it notes of the poems that I did really like, or that I did have some kind of personal something with, and so I will just kind of go through the ones that I really liked and we shall talk about it. The first post that I have here is for the very first poem, and it's under the hurting, and it says, "How is it so easy for you to be kind to people?" he asked. "Milk and honey dripped from my lips as I answered, because people have not been kind to me." And I really like this poem because it's very true. It's like the people that are kind of hurt the most and that like are betrayed the most, or these are the kinds of people that wish to not be that way towards other people because they know what it feels like. And with this one, I was able to relate to it because I always try to be as inclusive as I possibly can with my videos, with how I just treat people, with how I try and make new friends or anything, because I know how it feels to be left out of friends, of family, and so I just wouldn't want anybody else to feel like that because it sucks. So that's why, like, just with YouTube as an example, I try and respond to every single person's comment. I never tell people to like or subscribe because I feel like if you like me, you will subscribe by yourself. But I always encourage people to comment because sometimes it can take a little bit of encouraging for people to try, like, even on the internet, to just leave a comment. Like, maybe you'll think, oh, like, they're gonna think my comment's weird or something. It's like, no, I would be more than happy to talk to you about whatever, like, as long as you're cool. And I mean cool in the sense as if you're not like sending me hate messages, but like, yeah, I that's one thing that I try to, as I get older, I try to live like that, just like to be kinder and to just not judge and just treat others the way you want to be treated. That's something that my mom has told me since like the longest I can remember. Yeah, that was probably my favorite poem in this entire book. I just really, really like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and read other ones. I'm not gonna like talk about every single one of them, but I wanted to share which ones I did like. And so there's another one that says, "He was supposed to be the first male love of your life. You still search for him everywhere, father." The next one is on page 28. It is, "A daughter should not have to beg her father for a relationship." There's another one on page 30 that I really felt had, like, these all kind of have like a feminist feel to them, but this one I felt especially did, and it's, "You tell me to quiet down because my opinions make me less beautiful. But I was not made with a fire in my belly, so I could not be put out. I was not made with the lightness on my tongue, so I could be easy to swallow. I was made heavy, half blade and half silk, difficult to forget and not easy for the mind to follow." There's another one that I liked on page 32. Your mother is in the habit of offering more love than you can carry. Your father is absent. You are a war, the border between two countries, the collateral damage, the paradox that joins the two but also splits them apart. So on page 46 that I liked, and it says, I struggled so deeply to understand how someone can pour their entire soul, blood, and energy into someone without wanting anything in return. I will have to wait till I'm a mother. Another one, it says, nothing is safer than the sound of you reading out loud to me. The perfect date. That's lovely. There's another one that I really loved how it was written. It's on page 100 and it's, I am a museum full of art, but you had your eyes shut. It's just 2 lines, but it's like so powerful, isn't it? On page 137 that I liked, it says, I am water, soft enough to offer life, tough enough to drown it away. And another thing that I haven't talked about yet that I really loved in this book is all of her drawings that she did on the pages, and so they're just really simple drawings. I just really liked like that one that reminded me, it looks like as if she was trying to copy that famous Japanese painting, if you know what I'm talking about. I'll see if I can put a picture. There's another one on page 152. It is a part of the human experience to feel pain. Do not be afraid, open yourself to it. Evolving. And the one right next to it is, loneliness is a sign you are in desperate need of yourself. And that's kind of the one that made me think the most. And I'm still thinking about it. And she drew a really cool, you won't be able to see it, but it's like a tree right there with a woman in the middle, and her branches are like her arms. And I really like that. There's one that actually made me laugh, and it's on page 157. It is, perhaps the saddest of all are those who live waiting for someone they're not sure exists. And then it just says 7 billion people. And I don't know why I found that kind of humorous, but I did. Because that's basically like every single person on the planet. There's one on page 158 that I really loved also. And it says, stay strong through your pain, grow flowers from it. You have helped me grow flowers out of mine. So bloom beautifully, dangerously, loudly, bloom softly, however you need, just bloom, to the reader. So it was like a poem that she wrote for us, like to the people who are reading her stuff, which I really loved. A couple other ones are, it takes grace to remain kind in cruel situations. And I really love that also because it takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of just goodness for you to not want to face fire with fire, and for people to not want to face like violence with more violence, which is very true today, like with protests and just trying to fight hate with love. And it's an ongoing battle, really. The one right next to it says, fall in love with your solitude. There's another one on page 163 that I also really liked, and it says, sometimes the apology never comes when it is wanted, and when it comes, it is neither wanted nor needed, / you are too late. There's another one that's relatively long. It's on page 170 right here. And it is, my issue with what they consider beautiful is their concept of beauty centers around excluding people. I find hair beautiful when a woman wears it like a garden on her skin. That is the definition of beauty. Big hooked noses pointing upward to the sky like they're rising to the occasion. Skin the color of earth. My ancestors planted crops on to feed a lineage of women with thighs thick as tree trunks, eyes like almonds, deeply hooded with conviction. The rivers of Punjab flow through my bloodstream, so don't tell me my women aren't as beautiful as the ones in your country. And I really like that because I feel like that was directed, that could be directed to several different cultures, but me living in the United States, I feel like that's and I think that Rupi lives here also. And I feel like that was directed at our modern society, how there's this just way that society thinks that a woman is beautiful. What she's basically saying with this poem is that, like, no, like, your society's vision of beauty, like, isn't the only version of beauty in this world, and like, and my people definitely aren't excluded from that beauty. So I really like that because I feel like every single woman is really beautiful. Like, you are beautiful, even if you're a dude, you are beautiful too. But like, yeah, people are beautiful in their own specific individual ways, not necessarily because they fit this sort of societal standard. Like, somebody can be the complete opposite of what society thinks is beautiful, and they can be just as gorgeous. Alright, and then on page 176, there was another one that I really felt embodied like feminism, and it was, removing all the hair off your body is okay if that's what you want to do, just as much as keeping all the hair on your body is okay if that's what you want to do. It says you belong only to yourself. I see a lot of, like, because there's different kinds of feminism, I feel like there should only be one. trend. Like I see a lot of like white feminism, and that's still very exclusive, and I am somebody who just really who really tries to be as inclusive as I possibly can. Like I will accept anybody and everybody, and it's not you. You don't have to be accepted by me. Like that's not what I'm trying to say at all. It's just that whenever I see somebody that doesn't fit the certain societal standards, I always really admire that, because it's like, look at you, you are yourself, you are your own individual being, and you are not going to let certain things take you down. And so that's inspiring for me, and that's admirable, and I find that really admirable. So, and on page 190 there's another one that I felt was reminiscent with the very first poem, and another one that I said, and it is, some people are so bitter, to them you must be kindest. And I really like this poem also because some people can take the pain and the hardships and the conflicts that they've been given, and they can turn that into anger and frustration and hostility, and people that kind of face the same things can turn them into kinder people, and people that want to help others. But not everybody's like that. Some people go the darker way and just become angry and hostile, and so those people shouldn't be turned away just because they're trying really hard to not let people in. And like, I know I can be like that sometimes. I have like a really bad resting bitch face when I'm like walking around, and that's just my face, but it's also very not pretty and not very approachable. Like I had a friend tell me one time, she's like, yeah, if I didn't know you, like I've known her since I was a child, and she's like, yeah, if I didn't know you, I would not really want to approach you. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad. And I like to think that like once people come and talk to me, that they either realize that I'm not as frightening as my face makes me look, because I feel really bad when I'm just accidentally rude or just act a certain way that makes people think that I'm not very nice, and I never do that intentionally. And so I always feel really bad when like I'll accidentally say something or do something that doesn't really seem super inviting, because I like to think that I'm a kind person. But yeah, that is one thing that I am like kind of working on, is I'm trying to be kinder, in the sense that I need to work like my social skills. Yeah, anyways, the last post-it note that I have here is on page 201, and it's not the last poem, but it's one of the last ones. And it says, what terrifies me most is how we foam at the mouth with envy when others succeed, but sigh in relief when they are failing. Our struggle to celebrate each other is what's proven most difficult in being human. And I really like that, because I feel like we all have done something where it's like somebody failed and you felt kind of good about it, because that meant that either they were not going to get something that you wanted, or you were going to succeed, and like vice versa. And I feel like we've all done that before, and we're also all becoming more aware of things, and we're trying, like especially women, we're trying, there's so many things, there's so many obstacles, like the patriarchy, whatever, that's like working against us, and so we need to help each other and lift each other up. You shouldn't be jealous of another woman, another girl, another lady, because she is maybe a little bit more successful than you at the moment. That has, her success doesn't mean like your failure, if that makes sense. And so even if you aren't where you want to be, even if you are struggling, you should still try and be happy for other people, and you should still try and like support other people even if you are down. And this is something that I know that I need to work on sometimes. And I think I just left and came back. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, about this last poem, and how people need to not be envious. It is a sin. But yeah, like I was saying, I think it's really relevant in today's age, where everybody is like on social media. Everybody is trying to get to a certain place, and you know, jobs and certain things are very competitive. So you kind of have to remember that not everything is meant to be, or I know that can be annoying to hear sometimes, but also that like whatever's coming your way, what's supposed to happen to you is, if it hasn't happened yet, that's because, you know, your story has not ended, or something like that, if you want to take the fictional point of view. But yeah, I feel like this video is going to be kind of long. I hope not. But that is everything I had to say on the certain poems that I really liked on this book of poems. Oh, and also, I really love this cover. Isn't it super pretty? It's simple. It's black with the letters, her name, the author's name, and a couple of little honeybees. And I just think that's adorable. Thinking about it, so Honeybee, I wonder if she was contemplating whether making this white or black, the back, because Milk, is white and Milk is not black. So she could have done like a white cover with black bumblebees. I feel like that could have made more sense with the title. But I feel like she also maybe had a reason for making it black, and I wonder if she ever talked about that. If you know, maybe let me know, because I really love analyzing book covers and stuff like that. So I'd be super interested in that. But yeah, that was my review on Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. Please let me know if you liked what I talked about. If you liked this book, what were your favorite poems? Do you have any other recommendations that are similar? Yeah, just please comment. I would love to have discussions with everybody. Yeah, like I said, please comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!